TikTok Shop. Should you be on TikTok Shop? Is it just a shiny object that is distracting you from your long-term goals? We're going to talk about it in this video. I've got some notes that I want to go through because I've been thinking about this a lot over the last few months, and I've come to some conclusions on if you should be using TikTok Shop, the pros, the cons, and we're going to go through them all in this video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Josh Richards. I work with brands doing multi-millions per year, some over 10 million a year, some doing multiple millions per month. If you see me look at my screen here, I've got some notes, so apologies. But first of all, we're going to talk about the pros. The first thing that I will say is the TikTok Shop is great for revenue and profit. Now, most people jump at this and say, oh, well, okay, cool, I will get on the platform, but we'll get into the cons of that later. It is a great platform that is a very cheap to advertise on platform. It is low cost when it comes to CPMs, and TikTok are pushing TikTok Shop. It's not like you are fighting against their algorithm. You are very much swimming where the wave is going. So it is a great platform for revenue and profits. That is not my concern at all. And you can very quickly grow on this platform. Another pro is the fact that you can get amazing content from TikTok at a very low cost per piece of content. If you are sending out loads of affiliate packages, which TikTok Shop makes it very easy to do, you can, if you get a video that really bangs and is doing well, you can approach that creator outside of TikTok and say, hey, that video that you made for us, here's a contract, here's a payment, can we use it on Facebook and Google? Usually influencer marketing costs a lot of money and it's not cheap, but doing it on TikTok Shop is ridiculously cheap. You can get the price down. If your average influencer video is $250, I've seen some brands pay $6, $7, $8 for very, very good content because people are incentivized to really sell the product because they get commission when the video bangs. And if the video is doing very well on TikTok, there's a good chance that it will do very well on Facebook and Google. So in my opinion, it's a great idea to then go outside a platform and say, hey, can we put this elsewhere? Sign a contract, here's a payment, and Bob's your uncle. And the final pro that I'm going to go with is the fact that you can get a crazy low cost per acquisition with affiliate sales. So if you have an affiliate that makes a crazy good organic video and it just blows up without any advertising, of course the margins are great on that, but typically you don't want a business that has a sales trajectory of boom, drop, go along again, boom and drop. That is not something that an investor will look at and say, okay, this is sustainable. But if you are looking to just make money, and we'll get into this more in the video as it goes along, but if you're just looking to make money, then this is great. Now we're going to go on to the cons. This is where it gets interesting, and this is where I would consider where you want your brand to sit when it comes to perceived value. So the first con is the fact that it doesn't build what I would describe as intrinsic, super valuable value. That might not make sense for a second, but it will in a minute. And what I mean by this is that basically you're not going to be able to collect emails, which is a huge part of exiting a brand. If you exit a brand and you have 100,000 emails on your email list, the investor knows that even if they didn't run any advertising and they just ran emails, they are going to collect revenue and they're going to collect a lot of profit. TikTok does not give you access to the customer's email. It's like Amazon. It does not build that side of the business, which is a hugely valuable asset for a lot of companies, especially companies that have repeat purchase products. Another con is the fact that this is a discount platform. It shies people away from your website because it's a platform that you really do have to discount your product on. Now, I'm sure there's brands out there that have put the pricing exactly what it was on their website, and then they've used TikTok flash sales where they essentially get the discount paid by TikTok, which is great. Again, amazing for cash. But a lot of brands, some of the brands that I work with, let's say their product is priced at $30, they're having to sell it around $22, $24.99, because TikTok is a platform that people expect discounts. And that is a huge problem for one, perceived value, two, for cash flow, and three, for people just going away from what you really would ideally want them to go to, which is the website where they pay full price, maybe they get an on-site discount, the perceived value of the brand stays relatively high, and also you get their email, their phone number, and all of these things that you can either sell on to an investor in years to come, or you can use for retargeting now, which realistically you're probably going to do both. And that really is my main problem with TikTok Shop. It is a discount platform that really drops brand perceived value. And brand perceived value is something that is hugely important, especially when it comes to exit. So I think you have to ask yourself, what do you want from your brand? Is it a short-term play or is it a long-term play? So let's move on to final thoughts. So final thoughts are that you shouldn't shy away from TikTok Shop. It is a great platform for revenue, for profit, for getting content, but it should not be the backbone of your business. Now, I wrote a few notes here, but I'm just going to summarize everything real quick. In my opinion, you should not have TikTok Shop as the main driver of the business. A couple of reasons why is because it doesn't build that intrinsic value, it doesn't get you the emails. And what it does do, if it is the main driver of the business and you're seeing great returns and everything looks all good, a lot of brands are now focusing mainly on TikTok Shop. I think this is highly dangerous. Now, for myself, I recommend having TikTok Shop always be a lower percentage of ad spend than your main driver of cold traffic. For most people, this will be Facebook. Facebook is going to build a lot more value, and it is going to allow you to retarget customers. It is going to allow you to email customers, get their phone numbers, and it is just way more valuable to an investor. If I look at a brand and they're doing most of their revenue on TikTok Shop, I find that quite worrying as an investor. Also, discounting can become addictive. A lot of brands that start off discounting their product, they just go lower and lower and lower, are doing so much volume and they feel like they're doing really well, but they don't really have anywhere to move. When you hold brand perceived value, that is super powerful, especially long term. So I would really implore you to look at what you want from your brand and decide that, is TikTok Shop something you want to use? I would not shy away from it. I would just use it in a way that you understand the beast that you're dealing with, and you understand that it is not delivering as much value as Google, Facebook, and just affiliates that are using your website link. And just finally, looking forward to the future, I can see in a year or two the phrase TikTok Shop brand being a thing. And I do not think that this would be a positive way of looking at brands. You look at brands that have a website, high perceived value, and they look super strong. And then you look at a TikTok Shop brand that's having to discount their product 30%, but who cares? They're making a load of cash. And the ones that hold the high perceived value, they will be looked at in a different light. I can see the idea of people saying, oh, it's just a TikTok Shop brand, I'm not too interested, especially when it comes from the investor side of things. And I think, as well as entrepreneurs, we need to be aware of shiny objects. Still figuring out, and I believe from this video as well, you'll be figuring out if this is something that's a shiny object or genuinely holds some value. I do think it genuinely holds some value. I just think you need to take some of the points here and have a think about if this is something that you want to do with your brand. What type of product is it? Is it a brand that you are happy to discount? Is that part of the sale? That's absolutely fine. You can make a lot of money and investors will still be very interested. But if you are a brand that has that high perceived value and you want to hold it, I would be very cautious of jumping on a platform like TikTok Shop. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment. Let me know what you think down below. I want to have a discussion about this because I think it's really interesting. It's an emerging platform, and who knows, I might be completely wrong, and this platform could be Amazon in 3 years, and yeah, everything's amazing. But I think, again, Amazon still to this day holds a place in a brand's kind of sphere of all the things it does, where people just want to go with the shipping option of Amazon, but they tend to pay full price on Amazon. I think that's why Amazon can be strong as a retargeting platform. If you're doing $1 million a month, it's very easy to add an extra 100,000 by just adding your product to Amazon. And I think if you then add your product to TikTok Shop, you can't hold that same price point. A lot of the reason why people shop with Amazon is because they know they're covered by the money back guarantee, and they know that it's going to be shipped quickly, efficiently, whereas they might not have shopped with you before and they haven't gone through your process. Maybe you use a 3PL, or you have your own warehouse, which probably isn't going to be as reliable or as bulletproof as Amazon. So I'll leave it at that. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I will speak to you very soon. If you want any other videos, or if you have any questions, want me to make videos on anything, let me know, and I will speak to you very, very soon.